Peace and love, family. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how I do my own self-portraiture photography, but not only just to do photography. We out here trying to do businesses. We out here trying to sell clothes, weave, shoes. So this is going to be a great tutorial to show you how to take your own product photos. Now you can do this if you want to use yourself as a model, and I do recommend, even like I said, I posted the video about how to start your own boutique. I recommend use yourself as a model. The people who they put on, everybody that's getting these surgeries, and this is not a shot at nobody, do what people do. You know, I know what the Lord has called me to do. People can do them, right? But the Lord created us in different ways, and understand that even if you don't look like the next person, there are a group of people that you represent. There are a group of people with your body type. There are a group of people who would love to see how they would look in the clothes, because they might be made the same way like you. Think about it. Even if you never thought about modeling your own clothes, you might be like, well, I'm not built like that, or what? We're real women out here, okay? Everything ain't plastic. This is how you do your own self-portraiture photography. I have background in photography. I even have professional background experience on an academic scale. So this is a quick, basic beginner tutorial. If y'all are interested in this video and y'all love it, let me know, and I will bring you more advanced tutorials on how to take your own pictures and even photo editing if you would like to see that. And again, always feel free to join patreon.com for Pretty Boss TV for behind the scenes of everything that I do and more business content. I love y'all, and I hope that y'all enjoy this tutorial. Peace and love, family. So I'm super, I don't want to say I'm nervous, but I kind of am. Now, do y'all see what's in the background? Do y'all see them lights? Do y'all see them lights? I ain't talking about them lights. I'm talking about them lights. On this video, I'm going to be doing something long overdue. For those of you who don't know, my first business that I ever had was Angel's Perfect Photography. When I tell you, I was that company. I was that photographer in my city. I was one of three. Everybody came to one of three. Angel's Perfect Photography was lit. One of the ways that I got on was by doing self-portraiture photography. When I first started my business, nobody wanted to even take free photos. None of my friends. So I ended up taking pictures of myself online. I would post the pictures, and then people would be like, I want a photo shoot, and that's how I got popping. So to make a long story short, in this video, we're doing some self-portraiture photography. It's so funny because I didn't ever think I would be taking pictures of myself again. But the Lord said we taking it back to the basics. So yes, we doing our own photo shoot. Y'all, if you stay tuned long enough, you're going to see the new photos, because I'm actually going to do photos of myself for, you know, just the new thing that the Lord is doing. It's going to be new photos to represent who I am in this new season. And then I'm also going to be taking pictures. Let me show y'all. And my products, do y'all see these? Look. Pretty Boss exclusive. Series 1. So we're about to get it in. If any of you want to do this and recreate what I'm doing here, I'm going to show you the simple materials that I use to do self-portraiture photography. I'm going to let y'all see what type of camera I'm shooting with. You don't need the best camera in the world. Even if you got something lesser than this, you can use any type of DSLR. You're going to be fine. When I was doing photography back in the day, I didn't even have this level of equipment, and we was making it do what it do. So I'm going to show you the equipment that you need. I'm going to show you a tool that's going to change the game with your self-portraiture photography. And then all you need is these two lights right here. A little stand, you know, something where you can hang your backdrop up. So again, I'm going to put links to all the equipment that I'm using below, so that you can find all of this on Amazon. These two lights, a little backdrop. This is the backdrop. This is a new backdrop that I have purchased. This is actually a 10 by 20 all white backdrop. That's good for starters. I recommend you start with white. You can also get black and green screen. We're going to step our game up eventually and do some green screen work, but I don't got a green screen right now. Had to start from scratch. And then this is my latest camera, which is a Canon. Team Canon all day. I love Canon. This is actually a Rebel. I love Rebels. This is a T7i. I got this on Amazon. When I bought this, it was actually payment plans for this. So I got this on a payment plan. It's been paid off now, but I actually got this on a payment plan. So I was like, yes. And then you want to make sure that whatever type of DSLR you get, you want to have this flip out camera, because that's going to let you know how you moving. You see what I'm saying? So this is my living room area. This is the best space that I've found. I really don't have just an open space. I have something in every room. So I'm going to move my end table, my coffee table right here. We're going to slide all of this rug out of the way. And what I recommend also, let's say you don't have open space. Remember, you can always use your garage if you have one. Ta-da! I did that in about 5, maybe 6 minutes, okay, maybe 10 minutes max. I went ahead and slid my couch out the way. Look at my cat trying to just slide. And look what I did. I can't pick up that big coffee table by myself, so I slid the whole thing out of the way. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and set up these poles and show y'all how that looks. So first things first, I needed to show y'all this because this is important. This is minor, but it's not minor. These are the poles that you're gonna get. These are the 2 side poles. When you open them up, this is a great way to do it so that you can make sure that they're even. Just go ahead and line them up. You see how when I open this, because this is adjustable, if I turn this piece, these bottom 3 legs can either get wider or they can get more narrow. What I go ahead and do is I open them up next to each other so that I can measure them out as so. And then I'm going to put this one all the way over here. But there's something else that I want to show y'all. You see how I have my poles lined up? Do you see how I have them? Do y'all notice what I did? I have the 2 legs in the back and I have this pole in the front. Now, for those of you who are going to be doing studio photography as a business, that's important because that's going to keep your backdrop stabilized. You don't want your backdrop falling forward on your client. You don't want your backdrop falling forward on yourself. So this is the way that you properly set up your poles. And over here, as you can see, there's 4 poles left that we have, especially for the link that I'm going to give you below, because I know they still got this set. Man, family, this is bringing back so many memories. Y'all see, those ain't new poles right there. I can't tell you how many photo shoots I did in my life. You're talking about thousands. I've done school photography, studio photography, weddings. Look, this is taking me back. We're going to conjoin all 4 of these poles, and then we're going to stack them on the top. Ta-da! So I did only need 3 poles. I didn't need this other extension piece. So as you can see, I just laid the 2 poles on the top. I recommend muslin backdrops because vinyl is going to get old. Muslin, you can wash these. You can use these forever. They're thick enough and they're perfect, especially the quality that I'm going to put in the description. They're the perfect thickness. They're not too transparent, and they're really all you need. You can literally use this for a lifetime worth of photography. When I slide it on the poles, I like to already have everything elevated. So I'm just going to go ahead and lift this piece off and slide it in there like it's a curtain. That just keeps it easier. Then we're going to raise our backdrop and pull it out. As you can see, I have it up. Now, one thing I do want to point out also, make sure that you have a fan going, because when you put these lights on, oh, it gets hot in the studio. That's going to even be tips when you got clients. Make sure that you got some type of ventilation so that your clients ain't sweating bricks and ruining their whole face beat. All I'm going to go ahead and do is unscrew this over here. This is for the side poles. It can go up twice, but as you can see, I'm just going to lift it and adjust these poles on both sides. I take my time. I lift it up a little bit on this side, a little bit on that side, and then do the final push so that since it's just me working, I can go from side to side until we get the backdrop all the way up. TT, she's excited about this. So as you can see, this is very long. This is actually a 10 by 20 foot. I'm gonna raise this up, and I have it on a hard surface because we want to make sure that we get that flat look. Another thing I wanted to say is if you're working professionally, you don't have to get these wrinkles out, but I'm gonna show y'all how to shoot so that when you're editing your pictures, that backdrop, you don't want them wrinkles to show up. That's not a good look. I do recommend if you can use like a steamer or an iron to steam it out, that would be great. And just to give you a visual of what I'm talking about, like I said, since it's just me, I went ahead and did a 1 level up. So I'm gonna do the same thing to this side, and then we're gonna push it all the way up. Here we go. Look at all of that. One thing I wanted to show y'all is one way that you can get your backdrop nice and squeezed out is with clamps. I almost want to kick myself because I don't know where my clamps are. But all you need is like 4 good clamps. You put a clamp right here, right? Squeeze that around the pole. You can put a clamp here, squeeze that around the pole, and you can do the same thing on this side. And that's one way to go ahead and stretch out your backdrop. Trust me, for my photographers, this is going to make a complete difference post-production because those wrinkles in the back are not a good look on photos, okay? We don't want to be amateurs. We want to look like pros, even if it's our first photo shoot. Now I'm going to show you a basic lighting setup. There's many different types of lights that you can use, but I'm going to show you a basic lighting setup with the lights that I have. And when I tell you this is all you need, this is a beginner video, so I'm not going to do different lighting combinations. So check this out. We're only working with 2 soft boxes. I have each of the bulbs turned on. It comes with 5 different bulbs. Again, just to show y'all how these lights work, let's say you wanted to do a certain effect or you didn't want the full capacity of light, you can adjust it. Let's say you just wanted that light. Let's say you wanted to hit them from an angle. You can adjust these lights as so, right? So I just wanted to show y'all kind of how this works. When you're lighting up your backdrop, this is key. Now, when you do photography, or any of my photographers, if you're a photographer, let me know in the comments. Team Photog for life. What you want to do is light up the full backdrop. Now, picture if I had my clamps, there would not even be any shadows in those creases. But it's okay, because when I use the camera and I adjust the exposure and the aperture, you're not even going to see any of those shadows. That's going to be more than enough. The first thing that I wanted to show y'all is I have one of these lights at an angle. If you can see, that's kind of like slightly at an angle. And then I have this other one that's a little bit lower, but I have it straight. I have it going straight towards the backdrop. Now, what that's doing is eliminating shadows. You want a light that's going to specifically focus on the subject. This is the light that I'm going to have focusing on me at an angle, right? But it's not too high, because I'm also adjusting this to my height. And then I also have this one, but this is more directed at the backdrop. That's why that's not really facing me. That won't be facing the subject. This one is tilted at an angle. As y'all can see what I'm saying, with my hand tilted down, and then it's also tilted a little bit coming towards the subject, which is going to be me standing right here. And then this one is literally not pointing directly towards the subject, but it's actually pointing towards this backdrop, because I wanted to make sure that there were no shadows in the backdrop. That is key. That is just a beginner tip. And this is a super basic light setup right here with just 2 soft boxes and a backdrop. Okay, now let's take a look at the camera. Ooh, I'm like so nostalgic that I'm nervous, but in a good way, that I'm like, wow, I haven't done a photo shoot in years. As you can see, we're going to zoom out a little bit. I might end up pulling this back a little bit, but that might actually be okay. I don't want to do too much adjusting. Now, when you're taking pictures of yourself, of course, you're going to want to put the focus on manual focus. This AF is automatic focus, and the MF is manual focus, okay? You don't need the stabilizer. If you're doing hand photography, you want to go ahead and put the stabilizer on. That's going to help you make sure that you don't get blurry photos. This is different, a function where you can put different things up here. We'll probably do that on future videos. Again, on YouTube, let me know if y'all are interested in these types of videos. And then here, this is, of course, your zoom and all that type of stuff. We're going to be shooting. I have this on recording. We're not doing video. We're just going to be actually shooting. And here's where we can see our aperture. We can also see our ISO, right? The F is the aperture. I'm like, whoa, it's been so long. Look, so we can see our shutter speed here. We can see our f-stop that we have here, and then we can also see our ISO. So all of these things you adjust to give you the perfect lighting that you need. I like to shoot on manual. Now remember, if you're a beginner photographer, don't feel bad about shooting on automatic. I was doing my business shooting on straight automatic, okay? Then we also have auto, right? And this auto could include flash. And if you don't want flash, let me make sure this will be automatic without flash. Now, you don't want to use flash in the studio. I'm just gonna keep it honest. We don't want to do flash at all. So again, I don't want to make this too complicated. I am gonna be shooting on manual exposure. Let's say you're like, well, I want to shoot on manual exposure. I want to get my lighting a particular way. It's super easy, so that I can see. You see how right now this is showing up because I would have to look through the lens. So what you want to do is push this button right here, this camera, and that's going to let you see it through this screen. We need this screen because we're shooting ourselves, and we're going to end up flipping this the other way so that we can see ourselves as we shoot. This is the dopest tripod that I ever had. Like, I got this towards the end of my photography career, and I'm like, ooh, I needed this. All you do is turn. It's telescopic. You just turn those knobs, and it can even adjust even higher than I have it now. On manual, it's very simple. Okay, just to make it simple and easy. Right here, this right here, you can move the dial. You can move the dial this way. As you can see, I'm doing. You see how it's making it brighter? Now, do y'all see how all of them wrinkles has basically evaporated? Or you can bring it this way. That's making it darker, okay? Another thing that's going to be important is your ISO. If your ISO is too dark, it don't matter how many times you turn that knob, it's not going to be enough light. So right here, you can see that I have my ISO on 6400. The way that you would change your ISO is right here by pushing and holding this button right here, which is going to, let me see if I can, right there. And you see how I was moving the dial? All you have to do is move the dial. If we put it up to 2500, that's going to make it even brighter. If we take the ISO down to 200, that's going to make it smaller so that it's not going to allow in as much light. So 6400 is more than enough. We could even shoot with an even lower ISO than that, but that's fine. I like to keep it there for standard. And then again, I'm just also adjusting here, as you can see. This is going up and down in number, and it's adjusting our light. So now that we have that, the key to all of this is this beautiful, this remote. This changes the game. And the set that I got on Amazon actually came with all of this except this tripod. It came with a tripod, but not this one. This is what we're gonna use. And then again, all we have to do is flip this out the other way. And boom, when we're taking pictures of ourselves, we're going to be able to check our pose out right here, you see? So I have a little bit of bad news for me, not for y'all. I really don't think that this remote, I think it needs a new battery, even though I never used this. I got this camera literally this time last year. But I'm going to still go ahead and show y'all how you're actually supposed to pair this thing up. We're going to go to settings. I actually click, you want to click on menu. So now we're going to go ahead and configure. Let's go to menu. And then right here, function and settings. And then we're going to go to wireless communication settings. Then we're going to go to Bluetooth, right? We're going to go ahead and click on that. And then we're going to go to remote. All right. So this is what we're supposed to be connected with, but I don't think that it's going to work. So we're just going to say whatever. That's fine. And we'll say okay. Let me push menu to say okay. And let's go ahead and push okay. And if this was actually paired, if this wasn't dead, then we'll be connected to our remote, but we're not. So I'm actually going to have to use the timer to take photos. So this is how you put it on timer, okay? So of course my camera keeps going off because I have it on automatic shut off. You want to make sure that you click this button. You see how, okay, we can see our backdrop, but in order to put it on the timer, you want to click that again so that you're to this menu. And right here, you would see something that looks like a little timer. So you go ahead and push this side button right here, and this is going to take you to what you want to do. So you want to do single, high-speed, continuous, or you can say self-timer. All right, self-timer 2 seconds. You can do self-timer. You can do the time that you want. Let's say you want 4 seconds. You can do a custom time. Let's say you can go all the way up to 10. All right, or you can do 5. So what we're going to do, I always like to go to maybe a 5-10 second timer. And then you push OK. Then we're going to want to go back into shoot mode, of course, so that we're able to see ourselves. But all you would do is click this. That's going to give you an automatic focus. All right, that's going to get you right. And you'll go ahead and click that button. And that's going to count down and it's going to take a picture of you. So yeah, I'm really going to have to take it back to the basics. When you get in front of the camera, it's going to go ahead and register. And when you hit that camera button, it's going to focus to take a picture. Now, the thing is, you're not going to necessarily be in the position you want to be. So you can see my picture came out kind of blurry. Y'all see that gold light sitting back there? What I'm going to do is use that light or use that lamp, and I'm going to actually put it in place where I want the camera to focus. Of course, we got to do a complete tutorial. I wanted to pull it out. Now, another thing that I wanted y'all to take note, remember how we got all of our poles focused? We have the front leg in the very front so that we have that stability for our camera. We got the stability for our lights. We don't need lights falling on our clients or on ourselves. And again, so we have that front pole in the front and we have the 2 legs in the back. That's going to give your everything that you're using, all of your equipment, stability. Here you can see that I'm using my lamp for this example, right? I have my lamp focused. I'm going to show y'all how it looks when you put it on a timer. I'm going to be standing where that lamp is. Another thing is, if you could see me behind the scenes, this comes like to my chest. You can see that the camera's lower than the lamp, right? I always cannot stand to get pictures that are top heavy, meaning it looks like your upper body is big and your lower body is small because people are shooting you down at an angle. When I shoot, I always like to shoot straight towards the subject. It makes it nice and even when you shoot like that. This is a little slanted, so I'm going to adjust all of that when I actually take the picture. I just want to show y'all really quickly. That's how I have my settings going. Lord have mercy, my cat back there just killing me. So now, let me zoom in. I'm zooming in like 2 different places. As you can see, this has saw something, so it's like, okay, boom. So then when you click that button, now the timer's going. And not only is the timer going, but it's also focused, okay? Now we have our picture, but it's also in focus. It's not blurred out like how my last photo was. Now that I use that lamp as the guide to go ahead and focus my camera, I'm like, okay, that's cool. We moving with that. I'm gonna go ahead and put this lens on manual focus right here in the back. Now, next time I take a picture, it's not gonna refocus. Let me show y'all right quick. You're not gonna see the camera focus. You see how it just goes straight into taking the picture and it didn't go in and out trying to focus? So that's how you lock in what you needed to focus. And now once you make sure you're in that same position, you're not going to have any problems refocusing. So boom, let me show y'all a retake of how I look when I do it like that. And ta-da! As you can see with the photo, now it's not blurry like how the first one was, because guess what? We zoomed in everything. And of course I have this zoomed in, as you can see, so that's not the full body. But I wanted to zoom it in so that y'all can see that the picture is not blurry. And now we locked in. I always recommend, as you can see, that's a pretty good light, right? You can see there's no wrinkles on that backdrop. And another thing, you can see that I'm not standing directly on the backdrop. I have my lamp set up probably about right here on this third little ripple. So we give ourselves some space. You want to give yourself at least like a meter. Check it out. I'm so excited. I feel like I could scream. Like, I'm even more lit that we don't even have the remote. Bump the remote. We taking it back to the basics. We taking it back to day one, okay? We doing it like real pros around here. That's how it works. Also, one more thing that I wanted to say, is always better to shoot a little bit brighter. And then in post-production, you can bring the lighting back down to the person's natural complexion, but that's going to make sure that you eliminate those wrinkles in the white part of the backdrop. And it's always easier post-production to make something darker than it is to make something lighter, right? So you don't want to shoot people beyond their natural complexion, but if you shoot a little bit lighter, it makes your post-production work a breeze. A complete breeze. And then you can always, like I said, post-production, if you have Lightroom, if you got Photoshop, you can go ahead and darken up all of those pictures, okay? Anyways, let me go ahead and get dressed, redo my makeup, and then I'll show you behind the scenes. That's how you do your own self-portraiture photography. We saving $3,000. We saving $1,000. I know they shooting for $3,000, $4,000 photo shoots out here in Buckhead. We saving the money. We not doing none of that. We taking our own photo. All that money you would take for a photo shoot, go ahead and get your equipment and show them you know how to do it. You can go ahead and shoot yourself like the queen or the king that you are, all right? I love y'all. I'm gonna show y'all a little bit more behind the scenes, but if not, that's how you do your own self-portraiture photography. Peace.